Hello students, welcome to the class. In this video, we are going to look into the grammar component of Unit 5 of Semester 4, which is about the common errors committed by English as second language learners. Now, English as a language for any second language learner can be a stress job. Now, because if you look at the words they, there, and there, because though the sound or the pronunciation of each of them is same, but the meaning is very different. Sometimes Indian learners can confuse them one for the other. Or for that matter, observe this: every girl must bring their own lunch. Now when we use the word every, we generally assume that it's about all, but then it's only singular in nature. Now that's a confusing thing. So generally, English and second language learners make many errors which are very common uh, in the usage of grammar or vocabulary. Now, there can be many categories of these common errors. Now, they can be noun errors related to nouns, usage of nouns, related to the usage of singular or plural nouns, or the possessives, or using the noun or adjective or adverb in their correct forms. The other category of errors that Indian learners generally make is the verb errors, where the tense form of the different tenses can be confused, or the verb form, for example, like active or passive form or the infinitive form, can be confused with each other. And one major aspect of errors is the subject-verb agreement. The verb should always agree with the subject or the number of the subject. If the subject is singular, the verb has to be singular. If the subject is plural, the verb has to be plural. Now, this is one common error that is done by ESL learners. Another area of errors is the usage of articles like a, an, or the, or the usage of determiners like few, some, any. One other category of major errors is the word choice. It can be related to usage of prepositions or misuse of pronouns or vocabulary. Now, other class is the sentence structure errors, where students may write run-on sentences or use sentence fragments in their construction. They may be using some missing unnecessary words, or words may be missing from the sentence, or an incorrect word order. There can be errors related to the spellings, or other errors like capitalization, punctuation, etc. In this video, we will only be looking at the different types of noun errors, verb errors, article errors, and the word choice errors. We will not be looking at the sentence structure or the spelling errors in this video. Now let's move on to the errors related to nouns. Now observe the sentences here. Each of these sentences has something wrong in the construction. Where is the scissors? Sindhu selected the furnitures for her mother. The bowl of nuts are on the table. Would you like any tea? My friend has got a new work. On the surface of it, each of them seems to be okay. But then there are mistakes in these sentences. Let's look at each of them. Scissors is the plural noun which always comes in plural form. So the verb, because scissors is plural, the verb are has to be used, which is a plural form of is. Furniture is an uncountable noun. So we only have to use furniture but not furnitures. The bowl of nuts, though nuts is a plural noun, the bowl of nuts is the whole subject. The bowl of nuts is singular. So hence we have is and not are in the sentence. Would you like some tea? Because tea is uncountable and it has to be determined by some and not any. Any can be used in a negative sense. I don't like any tea. My friend has got a new job. In this case, work is an uncountable noun, whereas job is a countable noun. So when you say I have got a new job, it always has to be countable job and not work. Now let's look at the subject verb agreement category. Now, as I mentioned, in English sentences, the verb should always follow the subject. If the subject is singular, the verb has to be singular too. If the subject is plural, the verb should be in plural. Now, these are some sentences where the verb is not agreeing with the subject. Harsha don't know Hindi is actually Harsha doesn't know Hindi because Harsha is singular. They often goes to the city, but here goes is a singular verb. It has to be go. They often go to the city. Every student, though it seems to be like many, but it is actually singular in nature. So likes has to follow every student. Similarly, either you or she, the subject phrase is singular. Hence, we should use is rather than are. 10,000 rupees. The rupees seems to be plural in nature, but 10,000 rupees is one unit. So it's singular. So 10,000 rupees is a lot of money and not are. Let's move on to the different tense forms that generally we confuse. One is, I have read the book yesterday. Now, if you carefully observe, yesterday denotes simple past tense. But the verb form that is used is have read, which is present perfect. So there has to be a correction here. It has to be, I read the book yesterday because the time is clearly mentioned. We use simple present only when we are not sure of the time of the action. I'm going to computer classes daily. Once again, we find daily a time word which talks about present simple, whereas the verb form is am going, which is present continuous. So the correction has to be I go to computer classes daily. Once again, I'm hearing music being played here. Now, there are some sense verbs like hear, see, smell, taste, which do not have the ing forms. So, the correction would be I hear music being played. By the time Thomas found an umbrella, it stopped raining. Now, here we find that Thomas finding an umbrella happened after the stopping of rain. So you have the correct verb form of stopped here would be past perfect. That is, by the time Thomas found an umbrella, it had stopped raining. Let's move on to the usage of articles and errors related to the usage of articles. Now, crocodiles is denotes a class or a kind of animals. So crocodiles should not, it's very unspecific. So the usage, there has to be no article in this sentence. So crocodiles are reptiles. My son is going to study in the United States because we use the before nations, names of countries which are plural in nature, like the United States or the West Indies, the Philippines. Now, India is playing a one-day cricket match against Australia. Here, though, one day starts with a word letter O, but its pronunciation denotes a consonant sound word. Hence, we use A and not an. They live very close to Penna River. All rivers, names of rivers, are preceded by the definite article the. They live very close to. Now we come to the errors which are based on the usage of prepositions. Rana has known Sumit since 3 years because 3 years denotes a time period. So we have to use for not rather since. So Rana has known Sumit for 3 years. If it had been Rana has known Sumit since 2019, a beginning of the event or a point of time. They lived at Nellore. Nellore is a big city, so it has to be in. We use at to denote smaller spaces, whereas in to the bigger space. Rema gave to me the bracelet. Here we find to is unnecessarily used. Rema gave me the bracelet. She's married to a dentist, not with a dentist. Married always has the preposition to coming after it. Let's look some other errors that we generally commit. They did not see nobody there. In the first sentence, we find 2 times negatives appearing. So it has to be they did not see anybody there. The woman which works here is from Japan. Because the woman is a person, the pronoun that has to be used is who and not which, because which is used for things or animals. You are a student here, aren't you? Now, it's a question tag. In a question tag, every question tag consists of 2 parts. One is the pronoun and the other is the helping verb. The pronoun should always be the pronoun that is used in the sentence before it. And the helping verb should always be the helping verb from the sentence used. So isn't it is a wrong usage, and it has to be you're a student here, aren't you? In the next sentence, the painting is very beautiful. Now, too is used in negative sense. Too hot means it's too hot. Okay, so here the painting is very beautiful. If you want to use it in a positive sense, it generally has to be the painting is very beautiful. Now, in the next sentence, we find that return always already seems to be telling us that it has returned back. So the usage of back after return, it's an error and we commit it regularly. So the sentence could simply be, could you return the library cards to me? Back is unnecessary here. Johnny and I live here. It's always the other person first and then I live here in the order of in the sentence. Some other errors include this. I need your advice. Here, advice is a verb. Actually, the correct form would be I need your advice, a noun form. The shop stocks good stationery. The word stationery is a wrong usage of vocabulary. Stationery actually means stationed at a place, but as stationery, ERY, denotes books. In the next sentence, the error is about the usage of the tense. Jaya told us it's in the past, so naturally that she would tell us a story is the right one. In the next sentence, the adjective is improperly used. The book is more easier to understand because easier is about comparison. Tell us when the bank opens because tell us when the bank opens is the right usage because the bank opens every day. What is your cousin sister doing? This is another error that we commit. Cousin already means a sister or a brother, so the word sister is unnecessarily used here. In other examples from the textbook, we find she was boring in the class is actually a wrong usage. She was bored in the class. I enjoyed the movie and not I enjoyed from the movie. Where can I find a bank is the right usage. Where I can find a bank, it's wrong. The police is a plural noun in itself, so it always should have a plural verb. The life is hard. Now, the life is very unspecific. It doesn't mention whose life. Hence, the, which is a definite article, should be omitted here. How many children you have should be properly said as how many children do you have. So in this video, we tried to look at the different common errors related to usage of nouns, verbs, prepositions, pronouns, articles, and some vocabulary aspects that ESL students generally commit. We also tried to put in all the examples from the textbook exercise of Unit 5 in this video. So, hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Good day.